And welcome back. Will Kern from Endless Events here, and I am joined by the lovely Karina Bauer, the CEO of IMEX, who's not unfamiliar with our show. This is, I think, your third time being on the show now, something like that.
Yep, I think it probably is. I think last time was in Frankfurt.
Yes. And we always appreciate all of your support, and we love getting to work with you. And we've been talking to your team so much about all the awesome things happening, and there's so many announcements to get into, so I want to dive deep into it. So, where to start? Let's start off with talking a little bit about some of the big stuff for next year, which is, I think, is exciting because I think we didn't get to talk much about last year. I don't think we got to talk about next year, but you guys have a big initiative for next year. Do you want to talk a little bit about that?
We do. So every year we launch our talking point for the year. We've actually launched a talking point today for the whole of 2020 and 21 because it's such a big issue. There are so many different sort of strands to delve into, and that talking point is going to be nature. So we're going to be really focusing on what we can do for nature and what nature can do for us. And very specifically within the meetings and events industry as well, there are so many different ways nature can help us and things that we can do obviously on the sustainability side for nature itself.
Ooh, I love it. So are we going to be bringing like a rainforest into the show floor next
Maybe.
year? Who knows?
Well, I would say we haven't finalized all of the activities yet for next year. But yeah, I mean, I think we want to look at, there are so many areas, you know, there's the circular economy. There's also things like looking at how nature is designed and how that might be able to impact the design of meetings. There are all the sustainability initiatives in terms of how you actually put on a sustainable event that's ideally carbon neutral. So there are so many different things to look at. So we're going to be spending the next few weeks and months really focusing on how we pull that down and how we make that very manageable for people. And we'll also be launching a major research project as well.
Ooh, I like it. Wait, are you allowed to talk about the major research project?
Not yet. But we will definitely have one, and that will go throughout the 2 years with different sort of segments. And we really hope to make that very sort of tangible for people as well, that idea of nature. But as we all know, you know, and the science is proving it, human beings need to be in nature and we need to learn from nature. We need to protect nature. So we just felt that it was such a big issue and there's so much to talk about. And we wanted to launch it here at IMEX America for next year because we want to give our exhibitors time to think about it as well. So if you look around the show floor today, you can see how a lot of our exhibitors are activating on their booths, either the design of their booths or what they're doing on their booths around our talking point imagination. And we know that they'll have so many ideas around nature. So we wanted to give them that time to think and to plan so that they can really bring that to life together with us as well.
Random question, but do you think you could ever move IMEX to be a completely outdoor event? Do you think that would ever be a thing?
It would be a very different IMEX. So sure. Maybe it would be IMEX outdoors.
Yeah, there you go.
But there's a great idea, isn't it?
Third show right there.
Exactly.
I don't think I've ever seen such a trade show where it would be completely outdoors. So I was just like, oh, that sounds like a crazy idea.
You need definite plan Bs for weather,
for sure. So, especially out in the Nevada heat, for sure.
Exactly.
So you talked a little bit about sustainability, and you guys have been doing some amazing efforts. And I've talked to a lot of people on your team about what you've been doing, but I'd love to hear from you, and maybe we can share live some of the sustainable efforts that you've made here, and anything you're proud to share from this past year.
Yeah, I mean, so the efforts really are the result of a 16-year program where we've taken little steps each year and built upon them. And of course, we do also have our sustainability consultants, Meet Green. So they really help to push us each year. And not only that, they help to push our suppliers and our supply chain. Because at the end of the day, with sustainability efforts, you are always doing it in partnership with the supply chain. So one of the things that we're really proud of is that the show is totally powered here and in Frankfurt by renewable energy. But of course, that's only possible because we're able to offer that via the venue and because they have made that transition. So we're really proud of that. But there are so many things that we're doing here this year, from our plastic pledge to much more sustainable food options on the cafes like the Impossible Burger. But not just that, also looking at options that are more locally sourced, options that are utilizing less water. And yeah, there are just so many different things that we're doing. And the other thing that we look at very closely is our waste diversion. So we'll be able to calculate that after the show. But we try to send as little as possible to landfill as we can, ideally none. And so those are the type of measurements that we kind of look to improve upon each year, looking for that circularity, really. Things like having totally recycled carpet that can also be recycled, compostable, serving boxes, from the catering outlets. And I think one of the things we're most proud of here in particular is that, the Sands have said to us, by us pushing them and working with them to source maybe more sustainable food options or the compostable packaging, they then offer those to all of their other clients. So we're kind of used as a guinea pig because we're prepared to kind of work with them on that. And so we know that the impact of what we do has such a bigger effect, when you look at a venue like this, which is so enormous. So we're really proud of that. And, our goals on sustainability really are to, as I say, not send waste to landfill, to eliminate the use of plastics, to become a carbon neutral event in the future. And so we just take slow, steady steps to do that.
I love it. And definitely the Sands has been such an incredible partner to you guys. And next year we'll be here for your 10th anniversary. But the following year, you guys are switching venues. So we're going to be at Mandalay Bay.
Yep.
So you talk a little bit about what it's like moving this event that's so iconic to this venue to a completely new venue. What sort of challenges have you guys gotten into? What sort of things that you have to be excited for, that sort of stuff?
Yeah, it's a great question. So yeah, I mean, first of all, just to say, but it's our 10th anniversary next year in September in the Sands. I know there's been some confusion about that.
Say alliteration very fast.
Exactly.
September and Sands.
Yes, exactly. And so we're really looking forward to that, and we're planning lots of fun activities around the 10th anniversary. But then the following year, so 2021, we move to Mandalay Bay, and that first year will be early November. So there are lots of changes. And you're right, it is difficult to move the show, and it's not something that we do lightly. And the Sands really have been amazing partners, and we've gotten to know all different parts of the Sands team. I guess the excitement is that after 10 years in an incredible venue, we get to then move and reinvent the show in another incredible venue, but still in the city of Las Vegas. So, that's fantastic for us. I think people are excited. People are always excited by a change. I think a change is always positive. But you're right, there are also challenges with that change. And we haven't gotten into all the weeds of it yet, but we are just beginning to do so. We have already started working with their sustainability team. We started a year ago talking to them, and MGM also has an amazing sustainability team who are very active. They're building a solar panel plant out in the desert. I think by 2021, 90% of their strip lighting or properties will be solar powered. So, I mean, they are also really committed to that. And then, for us, it's about getting into the details, knowing what our exhibitors and what our clients want, and making sure that they understand that and can deliver that as well as the Sands have, if not better. Of course, there'll be differences. There are bound to be differences in their delivery, but I expect it to be just as good, if not better. And from their perspective, they're determined to do better. Obviously they want to put their best foot forward to the industry. So it's difficult for us. We feel very conflicted and sad because we have we feel like we have family and friends here at the Sands. But then we're excited about developing those relationships at Mandalay Bay and with the MGM team as well. And that process has started. And of course, our Sands family is still here. So we keep saying, we're going to find lots of ways to still bring people down to the Sands and work with the amazing team here and showcase all the amazing things that they do and continue to do. And they've got amazing new products like the Sphere opening in 2020 or 2021. So we're really excited about that. And I guess that's the city of Las Vegas. Once you're here, it's quite small. And, you've got the convention center opening as well, Resorts World. I mean, there's just so much constantly happening here. So I think that's the exciting thing about being in Las Vegas. We can constantly showcase to our delegates all these new and amazing innovations. I think they said in the press conference just now that Las Vegas is like one major R&D project for the industry, and that is kind of what it is. So that's always exciting to be here.
I love it. I love it. All right, I'm going to ask you kind of a hard question. So, what you guys are always doing awesome things. I think there's always never-ending compliments, I feel like, from everybody. But what do you think that you really want to work on, that you feel like you could really improve upon? So, you can see that even great shows like IMEX always have cool things to learn.
Yeah, I feel like we're learning all the time. And I suppose, people ask us how we always come up with new ideas and how we're always innovative. And I guess in a way it's because we're never really satisfied. So there are loads of things that we think we can do better. We're constantly creating small tweaks. One of the major projects that we'll be launching for our Frankfurt show, and then obviously for America next year, is we've been rewriting our basic technology platform for the past 5 years, and that will be launching with the registration opening for IMEX in Frankfurt. So there are lots of tweaks to the technology platform, how the appointments work, how exhibitors can make use of the platform to contact buyers in advance and really direct their communications better. And we've got loads more things in the pipeline that we want to do with that. I'd love to see better automation of some of those services, things like use of some of the technology that's out there, things like chatbots, AI, and also, we're constantly looking at the show experience as well, how we can flow people better through the show, how we can make the experience more seamless, more enjoyable. And we know that work never really ends. So however good it is, you can always do better on things like that. So those are the kind of things we look at, that constant sort of incremental innovation.
I love it. I love it. All right. I want to leave the audience with one last tip. So from everything, all the amazing knowledge that you guys have from doing this event, what would be one tip that you would want to share with our audience that you think that they need to take home with them?
In terms of running the event?
Yeah, running an event. Yeah.
Well, I guess it would be, in terms of people who are event planners or work with event planners, I guess it is that idea of incremental innovation and not being scared to experiment with things. So that's what we do a lot. We kind of pop things out there into the marketplace, and we know that it's usually like a 3-year burn, so it's a 3-year learning curve for us, it's a 3-year learning curve for the industry, and so not to be scared of doing that, to have ideas. It can be small things that make massive differences, and so those small things matter, I suppose, is what I would say. Whether it's looking at how your badges work, what they're made of, or every little detail really matters, and all of those small little innovations build up to a big innovative whole. So yeah, just go out, experiment, and try new things.
I love it. Karina, thank you so much for coming on the show. Thank you so much for everything that you do and letting us host this live stream with you guys. And we look forward to seeing you guys at the next one, and hopefully everybody at Frankfurt.
Absolutely. See you in Frankfurt.
Thank you, Karina.
Thanks.